Okay, let me before we do the question that's actually before us, let me remind you. I think you already know this. This will be nice and easy for you. Let me start with a simple question: 2 plus 3 times 4. You guys know how to work that out, right? You know, I bet already. You cannot just go left to right. Remember, you can't just go left to right. You cannot do it like this. You cannot go 5 times 4 is 20. That's wrong. So that is not correct. You cannot do that. That's not allowed. Why not? What do you have to do instead? Instead, what do you start with?
Do order of operations. So you would.
Yeah, and which means you've got to do start with the multiplication, huh? Yeah, you got to do the gotta do that first. So you got to do 2 plus 3 times 4. You got to do this first. So that'll equal 2 plus 12, and that's 14. That's the correct answer. Yeah, do you remember that kind of thing? You got to do the multiplication first. Math is not just left to right. There's actually an order of operations, and some operations are more important than others. Some of them must be done before others. I'm sure you remember all this. What's it called? Anybody remember the name of that official order?
Is it PEMDAS?
PEMDAS it is. That's right. Correct. Yeah, PEMDAS. Yeah, and people are putting it in the chat box as well. Correct. Yeah, so let me just review that. I think you already know that. Sort of the order of operations is exactly that's what you already know. It's PEMDAS. So P stands for problems inside parentheses. So E stands for exponents, like 2 to the third, you know, like powers. And M, it's a funny looking M and D are multiplying and dividing. And A and S are adding and subtracting. And by the way, let me make a note here. M and D are the same level. So D is not below M. Do whichever, well, do them, yeah, let me say it this way. Oops, changed the pen on accident. Do them left to right. Whichever is leftmost. And same thing for adding, subtracting. Or let's just say A and S also same level. That's right. A and S are also the same level. So yeah, so there's the order of operations. Please, you know, there's that old silly saying, I don't know if you, back in my day, it was please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. PEMDAS. So whatever helps you remember it, that's what they did in my day. Now that we just say PEMDAS usually. The P, you know, PEMDAS. That's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally or PEMDAS or whatever you want. That's the order of operations. So it's not just left to right. It's that order. But notice what I said about M and D. and A and S. M and D are the same level as each other. D is not below M. They're on the, that's why I write them this way rather than, sometimes you'll see it with M and D and A and S with the P and the E up here, P, E, and then M, D, A. That's not a good way to do it because that makes you think that M is above D and A is above S. It's not the case. M and D are the same level, which means what? You do whichever of those is leftmost. So for example, let me show you an example of that where it'll make a difference and I think hopefully be clear. So what if you had, so for example, what if you had, let me move it over where there's more room. What if you had 10 divided by 5 times 2? So these guys are the same level, right? M and D. M and D, same level. So what does that mean then? So do them left to right. So what operation would I do first there? I would do the dividing actually. So I'd get 2 times 2, and 4 is the correct answer. What would you not do? I think it's important to see what's not true also. What you would not do, I'll just say, you do not go, oh, I got to do the multiplying first. No, multiplying is not ahead of dividing. Then you'd go 10, right? Not multiplying first. Then you get 10 by 10, which is 1. That's the wrong answer. Right? So not multiplying first. Multiplying is not above dividing. So that's why it's important that you understand that multiplying and dividing are the same level. That's what I'm saying right here. Multiplying and dividing are the same level. D is not below M. So you just do them left to right, whichever is leftmost. So dividing came first, right? These are the same level. So you do them left to right. You do the dividing first. It's 2 times 2 is 4. You don't do the multiplying first. It's not above dividing. They're the same. You just do them left to right. So there it is. There's the PEMDAS. And so let's go back up and do our problem then. So what are we going to do first on our question? So on mine, well, I guess we all have different questions, huh? Mine, we're going to do that dividing, huh? And that multiplying. Multiplying, use your calculator if you're rusty on some of those times tables. So it will become 7 plus 4 plus 20. Just the main thing to remember about PEMDAS is adding and subtracting is always last. Really, really honestly, I'll be honest now, no more lying. No, just honestly. My experience has been over the years, you don't really need to memorize PEMDAS. Really, you don't. Most people naturally know it. The only thing that trips people up that you do have to pay attention to is sometimes you accidentally add too quickly. So if you will just really remember that adding, subtracting is last, you'll probably be fine. You can really probably forget about the rest of PEMDAS. If you just remember adding, subtracting is last, you're good. So adding, subtracting is last. Do the multiplying and dividing first. Then just use your calculator. What's that going to be? I think 39 for mine. Yeah, 39. And there we go. So there's PEMDAS, the correct order of operations that we need to follow.